this will be a very brisk 6-hour lecture. My name is David. I am a social media trainer. What does that mean? I'm not entirely sure, and having spent an hour over the weekend trying to explain it to my grandfather, I'm even less sure what it is that I do. I am a social media trainer. My role is to go out and help people to use social media for their businesses, to grow their businesses and really drive their business, engage their customers and get the most out of social media. Now, I am not a marketeer by background. I have no marketing qualifications. I'm a military historian by background. My degree is in war studies. If you want to find out about how the British armour doctrine of the Normandy campaign evolved from July to September 1944, come see me at the break. It's a thrill of a ride. But I've always had this fascination with military thinking, military strategy, and I've, over the last 6 years, applied that principle to social media. And I'm going to share a lot of those insights with you today. I'm going to be sharing insights with you from myself, my own experience as a social media marketeer, but also insights direct from the horse's mouth. I am a Facebook accredited social media trainer. I'm one of only 20 in the UK accredited by Facebook. So a lot of the things that I'm going to be talking about when we're looking at Facebook and Instagram have come direct from Facebook themselves. So if you disagree with it, take it up with Mark Zuckerberg and not me. Come from them. So we've got quite a lot of stuff to cover in the next couple of hours. We're going to start off by looking at the profiles that exist. So your profiles, your Facebook profiles, your Instagram profiles. We are going to focus predominantly on those two platforms today. Is there anybody that's using a social media platform other than Facebook or Instagram? For Avon. Yeah, is it Twitter? Yeah, Twitter. Okay, yeah. We'll touch on a couple of things that are going to be relevant to Twitter, but for the most part, we're going to be covering Facebook and Instagram directly. Was there any other platforms that people are using? Pinterest, Tumblr, Snapchat. There's a lot there. Oh, we could spend a whole couple of extra days here if you like. I don't mind. Google Plus, yeah. There's a lot of other platforms out there, and a lot of things that we're going to say will apply to all of those platforms. But we are looking predominantly at Facebook and Instagram. We're going to look at the content theory. So, what content are we posting on these platforms? What content works? What content gets the results that we want? We'll look at rich media as well, so the use of imagery and video. You'll then, if you're lucky, get a 5-minute break. Might make it even 10 minutes. Depends how good we are. And when we come back, we'll look at some tools and platforms specific to Instagram and Facebook. Some systems are available, some new tools and features that these platforms have been rolling out, and how you can exploit them and use them to your advantage. And then very finally, we will look at the Ads Manager system. So how many people here have ever paid to have any ads run on social media? Most of you, that's what I like to see. How many people use the Ads Manager tool? Quite a lot of you. Excellent. Okay, so for those of you that don't know what's Ads Manager, you'll find out soon enough. For those of you that have used it, we'll just run through those bits and pieces again so that you're happy with all the tools that are available there. Now, a lot of the slides and pictures that you're going to see today are from the desktop versions of these platforms. Generally, when we're planning things in a strategic sense, working from a desktop is better. That's not to say that you can't do a lot of this stuff from mobile. There is a lot available for you, and most of the things that we're going to discuss today can be managed from mobile. So the visuals that we'll be looking at today are from a desktop perspective. Now, another question, your hands are going to get tired, but I promise I'll stop soon. How many people have got a Facebook business page set up? That's what I'd like to see. Excellent stuff. And have you got Facebook, the app, on your phones? Yeah. Have you got any other Facebook apps on your phone? Pages Manager. A lot of people say Pages Manager. Anyone else? Ads Manager. Excellent. Any others? Messenger. Yeah. Any others? Well, if you were to go onto the App Store today and find Facebook and look at all the apps they have available, you'll see this. These are all of the Facebook apps that are currently available to download from the App Store. I'm not going to run through all of them. We don't need to use all of them, but there are a couple of interesting ones here. But anybody here that lives in an area that has very poor mobile signal? A couple of people. Facebook have developed Messenger and Facebook Lite. They are versions of Facebook that are stripped down. They don't download pictures automatically, they don't autoplay videos. They're stripped down versions of the apps that are designed specifically for low connectivity areas. So if you struggle connecting to Facebook when you're on the move, those apps might be useful for you. The key ones, the ones that are most important to us as marketers, however, are not important. I'm going to stand on this side for the rest of the day. Messenger, obviously a very important one for reaching out there and speaking one-to-one with customers. The main, you've had it, haven't you? Facebook is obviously the main platform, and we can use Facebook to manage our pages, but the Pages Manager tool is going to be a lot better at doing that for you. Pages Manager has much more access, easier access to the things that you need to do, scheduling content, looking at your insights, and managing your inbox. So if you don't have the Pages Manager app already, it is worth getting that. You just log in with your normal Facebook credentials, and it will allow you to directly manage your pages from there. The Ads Manager app allows you, unsurprisingly, to manage your ads. Again, it's limited version of it is available on Pages Manager on Facebook, but this just allows you to have a lot more control over it. It allows you to pause campaigns, to add more funds behind them. And then finally, the Facebook Analytics tool gives you access to more in-depth analytics and insights on the move. So as I said, a lot of the time using desktop is going to be better for you, but there might be scenarios where using the mobile app is going to be better. Perhaps if you're out and about, you're with your team and perhaps you want to quickly show them something, the apps might be a better tool for you to use. And of course, they are all free tools, free apps to download. But we do, of course, want to create our profiles. Now, I asked earlier how many people have got Facebook pages for their business. How many people are using a Facebook profile for Avon? 1 or 2 hands. Okay. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to quickly run through the difference between them, because this is a lot of confusion comes up about this. A Facebook profile is what you or I would have as an individual. We can post status updates, upload pictures, do all sorts of things. To connect to someone, it has to be through mutual agreement. Yeah. You cannot become friends with me unless I consent and say, yes, I'm willing to be friends with you. A two-way consent is required there. Whereas with a Facebook page, that is what a business uses. You don't post as an individual on there, you post as your business. And people can like and subscribe to that page. So you don't have to give permission to them before they can start seeing your content. So from a business perspective, the pages have been specifically designed for businesses as an alternative to profiles. Facebook's terms of use, and you're going to hear me run out the Facebook rulebook a couple of times this afternoon, but Facebook's terms of use do stipulate that if you're a business, you cannot use a personal profile. You must use a Facebook page if you're a business. Similarly, you cannot have, as an individual person, you cannot have more than one Facebook profile. So I could not have David Glenwright personally, and then a separate personal profile that I call David Avon Glenwright that I use for connecting to my customers. That is, technically speaking, a breach of Facebook's terms of use. Now you hear me saying, technically speaking, because I'm sure a couple of you, looking at the smiles and the faces around the room, a couple of you people do that already, and you're thinking, well, I've been doing that for 2-3 years, I've never run into trouble with it. Yes, a lot of people do it, a lot of people do get away with it, but just for the sake of disclaimers there, I've told you, technically that's a naughty. And you could, in theory, have the profile shut down. Generally, I do recommend pages, using pages over personal profiles. You get access into the ads platform. You can't run ads if you're using a personal profile. You need a business page to run your ads. and you don't get access to the same level of analytics and insights as well. And on top of that, if people are going to see your content, you need to approve each of them on an individual basis. So if you're looking to grow your audience significantly, that's going to be quite labour intensive, accepting all of those. And similarly, a lot of people won't want to make friends with you in that capacity, because as well as they being able to see your content, you would theoretically be able to see their content. Profiles are a two-way relationship, whereas a Facebook page is a one-way dynamic. So if you're not using pages at the moment, I would suggest at least giving them a go and trying them out. But what makes a good Facebook page? Well, let's look at a couple of examples. This is Joanne Decker. Is Joanne here today? No, I'm going to ask that on every lady at the talk of the boot camps over the next couple of weeks. I'm hoping that one day Joanne will go, hello. So this is an extract from Joanne's Facebook page. Now, where were your eyes immediately drawn when I pulled this slide up? Photos? To the photos, to the profile photo on the left there, and to the cover photo in the middle. So the profile photo, at least the laser still works. Profile photo is the image that appears next to every single piece of content. Now, typically I would say to a brand, or say to a business, that should be your logo. But of course, with yourselves, as independent retailers for Avon, your brand is so much more than the Avon logo. Your brand is yourselves, which is why Joanne here has got her face. Her customers, her team, they're going to relate a lot more with her face than they are with the Avon logo. Let's face it, if everybody here used the Avon logo as their profile photo, it would make for some very confusing searches when browsing through Facebook. So using a picture of yourself as the profile photo here, absolutely fine. Then we've got the cover photo at the top. Now, Joanne here has opted to showcase a wide range of products that she's got on her stall as her cover photo. She's telling a narrative here. We're going to look in a lot more detail at the idea of using imagery to tell narratives and tell stories later on. But the key thing here is that this space is a space for you to demonstrate what you're about. It's a space for you to, without using any word, explain to someone what it is that you're about, what people are going to see on this page. This is a page for Avon products. So generally I would suggest including the products in that image in some way, some shape or form. Now you can just use a static picture, or you can use a slideshow and have a series of images that cycle through, or alternatively you can upload a video as well. So you can have a video in the cover space as well. I'll be looking at a tool a bit later on, creating videos that will be really helpful in this element. But it's working now. Excellent. Right, so looking at this next one. So Lisa, is Lisa here today? No Lisa either. So Lisa, again, she's got her profile photo in the top left corner. Lisa isn't here because Lisa is from America, because the little pink banner underneath her face there says "This is Boss Life," which is a Avon US campaign that apparently has been running indefinitely for quite some time. So she's added some branding to her face there. And then we've got very clearly, you're in no doubt here, what this profile is about. Arguably, potentially a little bit plain, there could be something a bit more going on, maybe something a bit more personal. Again, we're looking at getting that personality across. That's one of the key things that we're going to be looking at today, is the personality. I know that over the course of the last couple of days, we've been doing a lot of brainstorming about what Avon is, what Avon means to different people, how Avon is perceived. I'm sure one of the things that's come up a lot is that personal identity. People wanting to do business with an individual, not a corporate brand. So use this as an opportunity to get that across, to get your own personal side across there. You'll notice as well we've got the Shop Now button here. So this is a button called the Call to Action button. Everybody with a Facebook page gets one of these. Has everybody who's edited their Call to Action button so far? Most of you, excellent. Does it say Shop Now? Does it go to your online profile? Yeah, most of you nodding your heads there. That is probably the best use of the call to action for yourselves. It can do something else, so you can directly send you a message or give you a call as well. But directing to your online shop is probably the best use of the profile there. What do we think of this one? So this is Cheryl. Is Cheryl here today? No, Cheryl's not here either. Again, she's from America. What do we think of this profile? Has anybody got any immediate thoughts looking at this?
Don't know it's Avon.
Don't know it's Avon. Absolutely, 10 points to Gryffindor down here. You don't immediately know that it's Avon. There are no Avon products there whatsoever. The Boss Life campaign has no Avon branding on it at all. If I were looking at this, I would probably, at a glance, think that this is some kind of motivational speaker, or some kind of blogger, or something else equally infuriating. There's no indication that this is about Avon. And have a look at the profile photo for me as well. What do we think of that as a profile photo? You can't see it. This is 2 foot square up on the wall here, and you can't read it. Most people will see this photo on one of these, and it'll be a tiny square the size of my pinky nail. There's no way that I'm going to be able to read that, and it's not interesting enough, insightful enough to draw me into want to expand it, to read it. So do be conscious of that. You may be looking at a picture, you sat there going, oh, that's a beautiful picture, lots of detail, some good text there. But think about the context in which that image is going to be placed. Where is it going to be visible? 80% of social media interactions happen on a mobile phone. 80%. You can almost guarantee that the majority, well, you can guarantee the majority of people who will see your content will see it whilst they're staring at their mobile phone. So do think about image sizes and how visible things are going to be on a mobile phone screen before you commit to them. And again, we'll look at that in a bit more detail later on. If you haven't created a Facebook page, there's no particular reason why Dobby is there. That just happened to be the thing on my Facebook feed when I took this screenshot. We're going for a Harry Potter theme today, though, apparently. If you haven't created a page before, it's very easy to do. We just click on the drop-down arrow in the top right, and there will be an option there to create a page. And you just follow the step-by-step instructions from Facebook for creating that page. Create you give it the imagery, fill out the details, and you're good to go. You can then get to that page again by clicking on that button, and your pages will be listed here. So when you come onto Facebook, you can click on that, tap on your page, and go through to it, and you'll be able to manage it in exactly the same way that you managed your personal profile as well. You can manage multiple pages. So for those of you that provide extra levels of support for your reps, you can be an admin or an editor of their pages. Different roles allow you to do different things. And when you're adding someone as an admin to your page, you can choose what role they have. An admin can do absolutely everything. An editor is able to do most things but can't appoint other admins, and it goes down from there. So if you have got reps that are on Facebook, or they need an extra helping hand, they need some support, or you want to see what's going on, you can say, well, make me an admin on your Facebook page so that I can see what's going on and I can help you out behind the scenes.
Let's just ask, can I just ask a
Yeah.
question? Right, what's the difference between doing a page for your team or a group? Because mine are in a group.
Okay, excellent question there. So what's the difference between a page and a group? So a group is a closed network on Facebook. With a group, people as individual personal profiles are able to interact with each other and talk to each other, whereas a page is a shopfront. So a page, people like, they subscribe to it, they see content coming from that business. So if you are looking for something on Facebook to communicate with your team, a group is the best way to go, because that is a closed community where you can have discussions internally. It can be closed off so no one else can see it. You can speak to them as an individual. If you're wanting to engage with customers, then that's when you would use a Facebook page.
Okay.
Okay. We'll come on to the groups in a bit more detail later on, the relationship that now exists between groups and pages. Because pages can now be the admins of groups as well, just to make the whole leg even more confusing for you. But we'll come on to that a bit later on. So that's Facebook. What about Instagram? Well, thankfully, Instagram is a lot simpler. And the easiest way to show this off is by showing off a face that I suspect will be familiar to some of you. Stress test are there. Very active on Instagram. Instagram is a lot more lax with its rules, despite the fact that Instagram is owned by Facebook. They are a lot more lax about rules. You can have multiple Instagram accounts, so you can have a purely A1 Instagram account that is separate from your other Instagram account that you use for selfies with your dog. You can keep the two separate. Very minimal amount of information that you can put on there. Just a small biography, a space for you to showcase yourself, tell people what you're about, what you're into, how they can get in touch with you. We include a link as well. So this link here, jesstoday.co.uk, actually redirects through to Jess's Avon platform online. But you can just put your shopfront URL in there. And then we have a profile photo that sits at the top. And that's all there is to an Instagram account. In terms of, is Instagram worthwhile? Is it worth doing? How many people are using Instagram at the moment? How many people have thought about it but haven't done it yet? Okay, excellent. In terms of, is Instagram worthwhile? I'll give you the numbers, the top level numbers. Facebook has 2.3 billion monthly active users. So people that log in at least once a month, 2.3 billion. Instagram have just in the last month or so announced that they've hit the 1 billion mark. So it's less than half the size of Facebook, but at the same time it's more than 3 times the size of Twitter, which only has 365 million. And I guarantee you won't hear someone say only 365 million all that often. But Instagram, yes, it's not as big as Facebook, but the audience it has is different. It is a different demographic. Facebook, well, who's seen the film The Social Network? Yeah, a couple of you. If you've not seen it, do check it out. It's a marvellous film, Facebook was set up to allow Harvard University students to contact each other. It was set up about 15 years ago now. The thing is, those university students, they've grown up now. Facebook's audience has grown up with the platform. And we've reached a point now where teenagers and young adults, they're looking at Facebook and they're going, I don't want to be on Facebook anymore. Mum and Dad are on Facebook, that's not cool. And I get it. My mum joined Facebook the day I moved to university. Literally, they'd been gone about an hour, dropped me off at university, and she was still sat in the car. Hey, Sue would like to be your friend. That's it, not using Facebook anymore. But the younger audience, they have moved away from Facebook and they have turned instead primarily to Snapchat and to Instagram. Predominantly Instagram now. Snapchat was doing well for a while, Instagram has put paid to that. So if you are looking at engaging with a younger demographic, early 20s, then Instagram is probably going to be your primary platform over Facebook. So it does depend very much on who it is that you want to engage as to where to put most of your energies and most of your efforts. So, I won't spend too much, let's not stand on that bit, talk through. We're not going to spend too much more detail on how to set up the profiles because, first of all, most of you have already done that, and second of all, the instructions are very simple, step-by-step guides when you create the accounts in the first place. So we don't need to get into too much detail on actually building the platforms. Instead, let's have a look and focus on the content, what to say. And before we have a look at what to say, let's put this into context first. A bit of history, because I like my history. Who can remember the name, or who knows the name, of the very, very first social media platform? MySpace, very good answer, not MySpace.
Bebo?
Not Bebo. Not MSN?
ERC.
No. Anyone ever heard of 6 Degrees?
No.
No,
Is that American?
Blank says 6 Degrees. It was an American platform that came out in the late 90s. And as the name suggests, it was very simple. It was a platform where you created a profile and said, hello, I'm David, and I know these 3 people. And you just list the people that you know. And that was it. It's as simple as that. That concept was picked up on and developed by another platform that came along in 2000, Friends Reunited.
Yes,
A lot of people go, oh yeah. A lot of people go, oh yeah, I remember my mum and dad being on Friends Reunited, because of course we're all far too young to have been on it ourselves. Friends Reunited was, as the name suggests, a platform for reuniting friends, for reconnecting with old school friends, old work colleagues. That is an important thing. Social media was about taking existing connections and digitising them. That was the key thing about social media. It was about digitising existing connections, existing relationships, and using a digital platform to help develop them. That principle was picked up by Bebo and MySpace as well. Who had Bebo? Who had MySpace? It was all about MySpace. That's the way forward. MySpace is still around, for those of you that are interested. Justin Timberlake bought it for a while. Don't know why, but there you are. But these platforms, they again were about digitising communities and existing relationships. I was at school when MySpace was a thing. I'd spend all day on the playground talking to all 2 of my friends at school, and then I'd come home, I'd ask Mum to get off the phone and stop talking to Auntie Julie so I could dial up to the internet for 20 minutes. 20 whole minutes if I was lucky. And then I'd sit on MySpace and I'd speak to the same 2 friends. That's a very nice pitying laugh, thank you. The idea that we can use social media to reach out to new people came along with Twitter in 2006, and decided that actually you don't need to have that mutual connection, you don't need to have that mutual consent, you can just follow people. Stalking is fine, we can all do that. No problem. Nothing bad could ever come from this, they said. And so we started to use social media in different ways. We started using it as a means to grow our networks, to meet new people. But it still sits at the very heart of everything that we do on social media. And social media is about developing relationships. If you switch off now, and I'd rather you didn't, but if you were, please just do bear in mind the one thing: social media is about developing the relationships. And if you can build and nurture those relationships, the sales and the business will come naturally. But relationships should come first. And that's where the content comes in. Now, it is unusual for more than 6% of our audience to be online at any one point on social media. And that's because, again, of these. Gone are the days of sitting on the internet and sitting on my social media profile for half an hour. Because I do all my activities on my phone. I don't do social media in big blocks. Instead, social media has now become an activity that exists between other activities. How many people check their social media during the lunch break? When else have you checked your social media account in the last 24 hours?
First thing in the morning.
First thing in the morning? When you had a break?
Middle of the night.
Middle of the night?
Always wake up at 3.
When you sat on the loo? When you're waiting for the kettle to boil? You all stayed here at the hotel overnight? So yeah, so waiting for that tiny hotel kettle to boil. It always takes a good 10-15 minutes. And when the advert break is on, during your TV programme, when you're down the pub and your friend goes to the loo, you get your phone out. When you're walking down the road and you don't want to make eye contact with other human beings. When you're waiting for a bus, when you're sat on the train station. Social media is an activity that exists between other activities. Facebook did a study into this not so long ago. And they found, what they wanted to look at was the number of times somebody opens Facebook in a typical day, and the total amount of time that they spend on Facebook in a typical day. What do you think the results were? How many times did the average person open Facebook each day? At least 10 or 20 times. I don't have any advance on 10 or 20. 100.
So about
What about amount of time? What about the total amount of time someone spends on Facebook each day?
Can't be that long.
Tell me, it's just a quick
Well,
look.
I guess 6 hours spent somewhere. I do, but we're talking about typical average daily use of it.
Couple of hours.
Couple of hours. So the results were, the average daily active user will open Facebook 14 times a day. Everyone's like, oh, that's not that many times. And they will spend an average of 40 minutes a day on the platform. Yeah.
40 minutes.
I don't
40.
get that. Personally, I don't. I've probably spent 40 minutes on Facebook in the last hour. But we're talking about broad total averages here. We're talking about global user averages here. 14 times a day, 40 minutes. Now, we break that down. That's only 2 or 3 minutes per session.
No.
People dip in and dip out in social media. So the content that we posted at 9 o'clock this morning may not necessarily still be being seen at this stage. Which is why it becomes important that we have people engaging with our content, sharing it and keeping it relevant. Now there are 2 tweets on the screen there, both from myself. You can follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at oldmanglenners. 2 tweets posted within about half an hour of each other. The first one says, small children should be banned from the quiet coach. Small children are not quiet. Hashtag trainers. The second tweet says, the not so quiet small children in the quiet coach are singing Frozen's Let It Go. I need liquor. Hashtag trainer. Now the first tweet was seen 52 times and engaged with by 1 person. The second tweet was seen 1,404 times and engaged with by 32 people. My question to you is, what is it about the second tweet that makes it so much better than the first tweet? There's a number of different answers there.
There's more content.
So
More content.
more content, so it goes into slightly more detail. Okay. A bit more context, a bit more understanding of what it's about. Yeah, good.
I'm not sure, but is Frozen something about people looking at that?
Reference to Frozen, absolutely. So referencing a trending topic, referencing something that is current affairs. Now these tweets were from these were back from when Frozen 2 had just been announced. So Frozen was quite current at that point, people were talking about it. Utilising current affairs is a really powerful thing to do. Not only do people engage with it and are more receptive to it, but the algorithms that power these platforms are receptive to it. Don't worry if you don't understand what that means. I'm going to explain the algorithm in a little bit. But where possible, we want to find ways in which we can use content that is trending, that people are actively talking about. So, we've just come to the end of the World Cup. Oh, sorry, question. Yes?
Just what you said about the Frozen thing.
Yeah.
So, Twitter's going to prioritise that in people's, like when they're looking in their feed, because it's got the word Frozen in it, even though it's not hashtag.
Yes, even though it's not.
It's not people like searching for that topic, it'll just be.
It's nothing to do with people searching for the topic, it is just the fact that these platforms are aware that lots of people are talking about this, therefore people are going to be interested, so it actively hunts out content.
Prioritise.
It does, yeah, so it prioritises trending things. So we've just come to the end of the World Cup. So these social media platforms, because lots of people have been talking about the World Cup, these social media platforms will prioritise any piece of content that references the World Cup. Or indeed references any kind of language or things that are being said that relate to the World Cup.
Even though it's not hashtag.
Even though it's not hashtagged, it will pick it up. So for example, at the start of the year, or earlier this year, we had the Commonwealth Games. And we had a client, and they were another makeup brand. Am I allowed to say that? They were a supplier, online distributor of makeup products. And one of the products that they had recently won a gold medal accreditation at some awards thing, a gold medal standard for something. So we created content that said that this, I think it's mascara, this mascara is a gold medal product. We didn't mention the Commonwealth Games at all, but because lots of people had been talking about gold medals in the context of the Commonwealth Games, these social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, they pick up on the words gold medal and go, people are talking about gold medals, I'm going to show that to more people. So that is a way in which you can manipulate and use and abuse, basically, the algorithms. Think about the things that people are saying. So the World Cup has just happened. Yes, we could talk about trying to create some content that ties into the World Cup. But what else were people talking about during the World Cup? It's coming home. Everybody was, I was starting to get a little bit fed up with it, I must admit. It's coming home. Flags. People were talking about flags constantly. So a great piece of content for people like yourselves would have been some nail art, some flag nail art, for example. Flying the flag for England this weekend with a picture of some St George's crosses on your fingernails. Just by pegging up flying the flag and maybe hashtag it's coming home at the end, that is enough to tell these social media platforms this content is current, it's relevant, people want to see it. Now we've mentioned the hashtags as well. I'm just going to very quickly explain what it is a hashtag does. A hashtag is a label. It is a label that you apply to a piece of content to help people find content of interest. So, for example, we are only a matter of weeks away from the single most important thing in the calendar year, which is, of course,
Brexit.
now someone at the last session was at Ultimate Grounders and piped up and went, conference! It's not conference, Great British Bake Off. Great British Bake Off, of course, single most important thing that ever happens. Now the hashtag for Bake Off is hashtag GBBO. So if I put hashtag GBBO on the end of any pickle, at the end or in any piece of content, anybody else that's interested in Bake Off and is searching for that hashtag, they will see that piece of content irrespective of whether or not they follow me. So hashtags are a great way for you to get content out to groups of people that are interested in a specific subject. You usually see hashtags around television programs or perhaps at events. You usually get hashtags around events. A lot of the time, I go to a lot of conferences these days where the host gets very excited towards after the lunch break and goes, just so you know, we've had 17 people use our hashtag today, so please keep it up. It's adorable. But you'll see hashtags at events quite a lot. It's a great way for you to get your content out to people who are focused and are actively focused around a single subject. Going back to these two tweets, is there anything else that makes the second one stand out?
I need liquor.
Humour. Humour is an incredibly powerful tool here. The first tweet, arguably, is a bit negative. Small children should be banned from the quiet coach. Now, when I read it out to you, I said it with a slight tongue-in-cheek tone. But you're not going to necessarily get that if you just read it. So be conscious of how things can be interpreted. Could it be interpreted as being quite glum, quite serious? Lightheartedness, humour does go a long way. So if you can take a more entertaining twist on it, certainly do. The other thing that's not visible there is the fact that other people engage with it. That second tweet was retweeted by a minor celebrity. I'll be impressed if anyone's heard of him. Roger Props. Roger Props in the room? No, he's not in the room. Roger Props is well, it doesn't really matter who he is. He's a beer writer, he's a beer author, but he has over 20,000 followers. He saw that tweet retweeted. The vast majority of that 1,400 views didn't come from my audience, came from his. So if you can get your content retweeted, great. It means your content's going out to a new audience and it creates that ripple effect. But David, I hear you cry. How can we get someone to retweet your content? Got to make it good, in a nutshell. Shall I elaborate on that? Yeah, let's elaborate on that. A good social media content strategy acknowledges what people are interested in seeing and responds to that. Easiest way to explain this is, think of the last time you read a magazine. Turn the page, you've got various articles and pictures and bits and pieces. You get to a page and it is a full page advert. What do? You turn over. Do you even register what the advert is for? No, you just go, that's an advert, board, turn over. That's why magazines, more and more these days, have advertorials. Have you seen those? They're dressed up to look like articles, but they're actually adverts, but they're designed to look like they're adverts. Designed to look like they're articles, rather. The exact same principle applies to social media. Except instead of turning pages, we're scrolling on our phone. Scrolling through, and if we see a piece of content that looks like it's a sales post, there's a strong chance that we're just going to glaze straight